dude.
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. But that helps you?
Oh, dude. Like, that was one of my big problems when I used to live up here is my PTSD would get real fucking bad. And I didn't ever talk about it, so I would just
Yeah.
drink all the fucking time. And now I just fucking smoke or I do like edibles.
Yeah. Edibles help me sleep.
No problem sleeping, brother. I love it.
Yeah.
I just play video games, fucking Fortnite and shit.
Just keep it simple.
Yeah, man.
You live in Rollo, right?
Yeah.
You like Rollo?
Nah, I mean, so, the reason I left the St. Louis area is because my mom got sick with cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So when she got sick, she had lung and stomach cancer. So I moved down to Fort Leonard where my parents lived to help out. I took a fucking $12 an hour pay cut to move down there. And then I just kind of, after my mom died, my dad and I had a falling out. And then, so I just kind of got stuck down there. I was broke. So, my wife and I ended up buying a house out in Raleigh and opening a gym. So,
Well, here's the thing, dude. Especially with how crazy shit has been. Like, I've really grown to appreciate the Midwest in this area. Cost of living is cheap, and you can get quite a bit. You got some space.
Yep.
So if shit goes a little sideways,
oh yeah.
I
got some buddies with some land. We all got, our little armories and shit.
Exactly. So, and the cost of living is not crazy, so it's affordable. And yeah, I get it. But there's not a lot going on in that area. But dude, you got your gym going, dude. How fucking awesome is that?
Bro, it's crazy. So, I was training at a gym and I just had on and off there when I moved down there. On and off, just there was a lot of drama. People were telling me I roll too hard. And I'm like, I'm not going hard. Like, you should come up to St. Charles. Like, we roll up there. So it's just a lot of back and forth drama and a lot of shit going on behind the scenes. And then people would be like, hey, man, this, so-and-so is saying this about you and saying that. So I was like, man, I'm done. So I started just teaching the combatives guys at lunch, going into their building during lunch. And I was teaching them and getting roles and stuff with some decent guys, some really good wrestlers and shit. And so they were like, man, like, we don't like this other spot. We want to train some more. And I'm like, well, fuck, we'll do it in my garage. So we called it the gulag. So I'd have like 17 people in my garage, man.
What's the gulag mean?
You played Warzone, right?
No.
When you die, you go to the gulag. It's like a little prison area. And you got to fight your way out of it.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So we train in the gulag. Dude, we do double legs and our feet would hit the garage door and shit.
It's so tidy.
Yeah, it was crazy. So then I was like, well, fuck it, man. We put some money together, and during COVID, we opened a gym. And, dude, we went all the way, through all that COVID crap, and then we had our own show, and, like, we're doing good, man. Like, I'm not making millions of dollars or anything, but, the gym is sustaining itself.
Dude,
so,
you're doing what you want to do.
I love it. Yeah, and we're going to, like, Kansas City Fuji and shit. And I know, man, it's Fuji, but, dude, we're, taking second place as a team with 5 people.
That's awesome.
Beating out, Gracie Armada and 10th Planet. And, the only team that beat us in Kansas City was Pedigo.
Yeah.
And they had like 15 people. So I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's some shit you should be proud of.
Yeah, well, I mean, we are, but, it's not enough. It's not enough. Like on the board at my gym, it says I want all the gold. That's our plan for this year. I want all the gold.
Yeah, you're trying to build a legitimate competition team.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
My wife is competing, man. You know what I'm saying? She's been doing jiu-jitsu with just me for just under 2 years. Okay. Yeah, so, like, we're building from the ground up, man.
Yeah.
I've got guys that have never been on a mat before that are wrecking white belts, man. It's crazy.
Well, there are differences, right, as far as what kind of gym you can have. Some gyms are really competition-focused. Yes. Some aren't. And you just decided that you want to have a competition gym.
Yeah. So, like I was telling you earlier before we went live, when I first started jiu-jitsu, because when I got into jiu-jitsu and MMA, I did it for the MMA. I wanted to fight. So the gym I started at was Lebanon Fight Club, and the head instructor was Bart Geyer. And not a lot of people know Bart, but Bart came up with the Militich guys. Okay. So he was Matt Hughes and Jens Pulver. He was their jiu-jitsu coach. So this dude, man, he's like 5'7", 165 pounds, and he's like a machine. He doesn't get tired. He left for like 3 months to do a school for nursing and just brewed his own beer and drank beer for 3 months and came back and still had an 8-pack. And I'm like, this fucking guy, dude. So
Savage.
that's where I learned. And remember when I came to the gym, I sparred with you guys, and you guys were like, oh, okay, because like that's how we threw. It was a fight every sparring session, like because Bart was a Militich guy.
Yeah, it's that old school
Yep,
military fight as hard as you can every day.
Yep. So I'd never been in a gi. It was all no gi, and we just went fucking hard. But I didn't know anything about worlds. I didn't know anything about Naga or none of that shit.
Yeah.
I knew nothing. So when I came up here, you guys were doing Nagas, and I thought that was like the biggest fucking thing in the world. I wanted a Naga belt so bad.
Well, at the time it was, dude. I mean, if you look at, I remember whenever I started doing jiu-jitsu, same story, right?
Yeah.
Started doing jiu-jitsu for MMA.
Yeah.
I knew you needed to do it.
Yep.
I remember watching BJ Penn fight,
Mhm.
and they always talked about how he got his black belt in like 5 years or something.
It's 3 years.
Was it 3?
Yep,
okay,
3 years.
3 years, right? Something crazy. And nobody does that.
Nope.
But at that time, there weren't a ton of jiu-jitsu practitioners. So it was super highlighted all the time. So like, I have to learn jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
So that's what took me into doing jiu-jitsu. But at that time, jiu-jitsu was nowhere near what it is today.
Oh man, it's fucking awesome. It's crazy.
Naga was a big deal.
Yeah. I remember. This is how like you and me both. Like you didn't get on a podium when you won or you were in the top 3. They brought that little banner out and you stood there. And it was first place, second place, third place, and they just held the banner in front of you.
Yeah, honestly, dude, I didn't really compete at a legitimate tournament until I was a purple belt.
Golly, dude, this is funny. So a lot of people don't know this about me. So I was doing blue belt and purple belt Nagas as a 3-stripe white belt.
Really?
Yeah, and I remember one Naga in particular. This is like one of my favorite stories of all time. I get on the mat in gi. And I'm in the purple belt division with a white belt on. And the ref looks at me and goes, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, this is purple belt division, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I know. He's like, why the fuck are you in the purple belt division? I was like, I've won the blue belt 3 times. You won't let me do it anymore. He was like, oh. And I took second place.
Yeah.
And then I went no-gi, and I went against, and I was fucking pissed I took second. I wanted the belt so bad, And then in no-gi, I went against Ezra Lennon. And I didn't have a fucking clue who Ezra was. No clue.
Wasn't a good match for you.
So this is funny, right? So I get on the mat and Mike goes, oh. And I'm like, okay. Because Mike. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I get on the mat. We shake hands. We fist bump. I take a step back and bam. He's on me with a heel hook. I didn't know fucking leg locks then. I was like, what the fuck? I got out of it.
Okay.
And then we went for like 6 minutes. And he ended up going knee on belly and get me with a baseball bat choke. But it was 6 minutes. Right,
good match.
6 fucking minutes. So, and it was only him and me in the bracket. And he was like, I don't know, 15, 20 pounds heavier than me. But to me, that didn't mean shit.
What was he at the time? A purple belt?
No, he's a fucking black belt. So I didn't know any of this.
He was a black belt at that time?
I had no clue. So he like, we're standing there and they're waiting to bring the banner over. And I'm pissed off because I really wanted to fucking win that belt. And he's like trying to be nice to me and shit. And I don't know who the fuck this guy is. And I'm all mad. And he's like, bro, where'd you wrestle, man? You're like strong as fuck. I'm like, I didn't wrestle anywhere, man. I'm a 3-star white belt. And he was like, what the fuck? And that was it, right? Mm-hmm. So we stood up there. He got the belt. I got my silver. I was all fucking mad. Mike goes, man, he did really good. Like a lot better than I thought. And I had no clue who it was. And then Alan pulls me aside and I'm mad. And Alan's like, you know who that is? I'm like, no, I don't fucking know who that is, Alan. He's like, that's Ezra Lennon. I was like, okay, cool. Who the fuck's Ezra Lennon? He's like, he took 3rd at Worlds this year at black belt. I'm like, oh, so I did okay? And he's like, yeah, you did really good. And then come to find out, before that, he was at ADCC against Dean Lister. Mm-hmm. So this is like one of my favorite highlights to ever watch. He gave Dean Lister hell. Mm-hmm. Dean beat him, but he gave Dean hell, and I gave Ezra hell. And I was like,
so you gave Dean hell.
I was like, wait a minute, man. I might actually be kind of good at this jiu-jitsu shit.
Yeah.
And then from that day on, I was like, leg locks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were a fan of Dean at that time?
Yes, I was. I knew who Dean. I just thought he was fucking cool. Like he's just big, fucking headed dude. He was in the UFC at the time too. Mm-hmm. I didn't really know anything about his ADCC stuff. Yeah. I just knew he fought. And
he was so far ahead of everybody.
Man. Yeah, I got to go to one of his seminars. My wife went with me.
I signed up for that.
Yeah.
And I fucked up, and I went to the Victory in Farmington.
Oh.
And I showed up late, and I'm like, man, fuck. And I'm already in Farmington. It's going to take me probably another 35 minutes. I would have got there about an hour late. There would have been about 2 hours left. I'm like, I don't really feel like doing this.
Dude, it was fucking really cool. Like, his stories were super cool.
I bet it was. Yeah. I was really mad at myself for
it was such a cool. It was a really cool, because he's like one of my fucking heroes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got his pictures hanging up in my gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So going to that, and especially with my wife, you know, it was badass, man. I was all like giggling and shit the whole time. Yeah. It was,
dude, that's an experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like last weekend, I went to the Boogie and Gio Martinez.
Did you go to that?
Brother.
Dude.
So
I need
like,
to get better.
Brother,
Going to
stylistically and like teaching wise, because I've been to Gordon Ryan seminar too. I've been to a bunch of seminars. They were the best seminar I've ever been to. Hands fucking down. Dude, they walked in. They were super cool with everyone, like shaking hands. Dude, I brought one of my students, and we're the only two guys there without a fucking 10 planar rash guard on. And they were all super nice to us and respectful. And then they start talking about their philosophies and, you know, what got them into jiu-jitsu. And my athlete's like, man, it's like listening and talking to you. Like you're talking. It was so cool, man.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, when you do these things, you find that this is just maybe something that since I'm teaching more, I think about it more, especially when I'm doing these privates. As much like there's as much value in sharing information about techniques and positions as there is in just sharing your thoughts and philosophies on the sport and like reasons for like why you do things or you can do just as much talking that is kind of outside of just the how-to of jiu-jitsu to provide so much value.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That whole, what is it, adage, I guess? If you have knowledge you don't share, it's wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that. Like, I share all kinds of shit. And experiences, too. Like this, you know, I tell my students this kind of shit. I'm like, oh, man, I got to do this. And I got to talk to this guy, and I learned it from him.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things, and my students, they love this shit because I'll teach them a move, and I'm like, this ain't mine. I learned this from so-and-so. Or, like, I tell them, hey, I learned this from Matt Wright's house and shit, you know, all the time. I'm always like, I never like, oh, that's just my shit, man.
But at the end of the day, we all have to learn from somebody.
Yeah.
And nothing's really original.
No, you can not, I guess.
I mean, some people they change shit for sure.
Yes.
And they do some very unique and original shit to a degree. But it's like, at the end of the day, somebody probably did it somewhere.
Yeah. So I've got two moves I got to show you, man.
Yeah.
That are mine. And we've scoured the internet looking for them.
Right.
And they're mine.
Yeah.
No one else is doing it.
But what I'm saying, okay, maybe right now this is yours.
Yeah.
But who's to say that somebody else won't think of it independently?
True.
Later on, or maybe has already and just hasn't put it on the internet, or maybe they did it prior
on accident,
like predate the internet, and there's just no record of it.
Okay,
and so that doesn't take away what you're doing, and for let's say it's yours. But I'm just saying that like that is a possibility.
Yes. Oh, it's always a possibility.
So I keep that in mind whenever I say like nothing's original. Like, there's probably somebody who's already done it. But, I mean, I think a great case in point is, I mean, Eddie Bravo completely revolutionized.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, sure, maybe somebody will get there, but maybe I just got there first.
I think a lot of things that are new nowadays in jiu-jitsu, especially because jiu-jitsu is popular, it's not so much the moves, but the little intricacies to the moves.
Right.
Yeah, how to make things tighter or make it easier to get to that position with just little bitty adjustments.
Right. It's like your own self-expression.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
That's one of the beautiful things about jiu-jitsu. And I tell everyone, I'm like, because they're all like, oh, man, you know so much. You're always 5 moves ahead of us. I'm like, in the grand scheme of things, I don't know shit about jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Like, jiu-jitsu's way out here, and I know about that much.
Right. I'm never really as far ahead as people think you are anyway.
No, I know I'm not. Like, I know. There's certain moves that I'm like, I don't fucking know how to do that. Or I'm like, it's complicated. Like,
right.
So, because we keep things real basic at the gym. Like, real basic. Because everyone's like, oh, man, I want to get into, I saw this move on the internet, 10th Planet. And I'm like, oh, I like some of their stuff, but a lot of it takes like 15 moves to get to. And that's a lot of stops if somebody can slow you down or stop you. I want stuff that works right away.
Yeah.
Right away.
So you guys tend to focus more no-gi?
No, we do both. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got 2
no-gi
you do classes a week and 2 gi classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is your preference?
Oh, man, I'm a no-gi.
Yeah. So that's kind of where like you're like,
Oh, I love it.
Are you gearing more towards no-gi competition?
Yes. So my big thing, especially at you're a black belt now, but so at the higher ranks, a lot of guys, and I've noticed in competition and watching it, is they stall really bad in the gi. They grab a hold, they get their points, and they just stall. And it's really about making the guy that you're holding struggle so much to get out of that position that they do something wrong, which I get it. But I'm not, I'm not flying all the way to fucking Vegas to be held down.
Out.
Yeah, no, I want to go. Let's try to finish each other. Like,
right.
I'm not trying to play that snuggle game. Like, I want to try to beat each other. That's what we're here for. If we want to be a world champion, let's try to submit each other. Let's not hang on to each other for 7-8 minutes and then, you're up by 2 points or an advantage. It pisses me off, man. It makes me so mad. I hate it.
People play the game.
Yeah, and I get it. It's part of the game. And that's, but that's not, I'm not trying to play that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's that whole Hicks and Gracie, like, hey, they don't work in the street, you get kicked in the head. Like,
yeah. There's so many different ways to approach it, but if you're looking at like competition, it definitely makes sense to focus, right? You can do gi and no gi relatively well and compete in both.
Yeah.
But if you're really trying to like all right, I want to be like the best in this space, you got to focus on one or the other.
Yeah. And I have athletes
as
that
a
do
whole.
that. I have some that want to do majority gi and some that want to do majority no gi.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
If
for the most part,
competition is-
most of my guys they lean towards the no gi.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, we do so much wrestling, because that's another thing. I'm like, if I can't take you down, my jiu-jitsu is fucking worthless.
Well, we were talking, jiu-jitsu is in a much different place today. If jiu-jitsu were in the place that it is now, like when we were competing in MMA, I probably just would have did jiu-jitsu.
Fuck yeah.
Right? But it wasn't there.
Yeah, it's less damage.
Yeah. And hindsight being 2020, I mean, you can never really know what's going to become of anything. Should have just, I mean, you'd have to really predict it. I mean, you'd have to be like Andrew Wiltsey, who truly loved jiu-jitsu, and he tried MMA a couple times. It was like, oh, this isn't for me.
Yeah, I remember.
But I think to an earlier statement, you said I wasn't even aware of Worlds. Like that wasn't even a thing. All I knew about was Naga. I didn't know that there was Worlds and all this shit, and this was a whole. I didn't realize how big the community and the culture was and all of that shit. And some of that was maybe just my fault for not looking into it deep enough. Because it was just a thing to help me with this other thing. Because all I could focus on was MMA.
Yeah.
Like, that was the goal. I was like, man, that's where the money is. For me, I was chasing money. Like, I wanted to be the man and I wanted to be a champion. But I also saw an opportunity to, like, provide for my life in a way that wasn't, like, normal. So it was like, yeah, I want the big money so that way I can live a life. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
You know what I mean? Pay bills and all that shit. So, yeah. So part of it for me was the money. I was like, damn, I want that big money fight because it's like, man, say you get a massive bonus. It's like, cool. Now I don't have to worry about money. Now I can just focus even more on this. And like now you can. It's like solving a need. So then now you can better focus. That's how I kind of approach it.
But like, looking back on it, and even still today, man, there ain't no fucking money in MMA.
Zero.
Nothing. Because everyone's like, oh, man, this fucking guy got a $50,000 bonus, and he made 12 and 12. I'm like, yeah, but he's got to pay his manager. He's got to pay his coach. He's got to pay his striking coach. He's got to pay taxes. He's got to pay, for all the food that he had, all the training partners. He's got to pay them something. They're not all going to do it for free.
Right.
He's got a masseuse.
Right.
I'm like, by the time he's done, he got like $300 left.
Right. So I think, and that's probably what led me astray. I was chasing a little bit of the clout, the success, the lights, but then also the big paycheck. Maybe if I would have just went into the passion, which for me is jiu-jitsu, because after I stopped fighting, I just went into jiu-jitsu. Just did that, then things might be different, because there's a lot of opportunity in jiu-jitsu. Now.
Yeah, but even still, like even Gordon Ryan, he's, arguably the best grappler in the world.
Nogi.
He's not making shit. Not off his matches. He's making all his money off his DVDs.
Instructionals. That's where the money is, instructionals.
His seminars.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You make a lot of money off of seminars, but you make more off instructionals because you just do that once and then it just sell.
Yeah, and then you just collect the check.
Yes. But to do that, you got to be like.
You got to be good.
Top level, and you
got or you got to be marketable, just like in MMA. You got to be marketable. There are people like, that fucking dude's cool, man.
Right, which is why, even if you didn't make a lot of money, maybe you went all in on jiu-jitsu, and then you did win worlds at like every belt, or you did win a couple black belt, worlds. Now you have a marketing tool, and then you have this opportunity with this other tool called social media,
Yep.
and you put them together, and then now you have guys like Tom DeBlass, who obviously is an exceptional grappler, did ADCCs and all that shit, and has won and is super successful. But if it weren't for social media, would he have the same opportunity at this scale? No, he wouldn't. So none of us could have really predicted social media, But now hindsight being 2020. Now with social media, basically whatever your passion is, as long as you go all in on that,
it's crazy.
look
at
it creates an opportunity.
That guy making millions of dollars, making fucking videos.
Yeah, they were killing.
I wish I could
YouTube
come up
right?
with that shit. Yeah.
So, yeah, man, but it's awesome to see where jiu-jitsu is now, right? So, I mean, you're doing the combat jiu-jitsu, which is brand new on the scene, really.
Yeah. So, I came up with this idea because, again, I don't like the stalling. It pisses me off.
Yeah.
That and a couple other things that I just can't stand. Sorry, I'm hitting the table.
No, you're fine. I just want to make sure this mic is catching your voice.
My bad. I keep moving it away from my face. So, and it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just the way that I think about things, but like, it pisses me off in most competitions. I can't double leg slam you, but you can judo flip me on top of my head. That pisses me off.
They will do that.
That's even more dangerous than me double legging you. At least double legging you, slamming you, I'm still moving you in a position where you're on your back. If you judo flip me on my head and you land on top of me.
I've seen this dude where I don't know what the thing is, but they'll basically like kind of step in and drop them.
Yes.
And they'll wrap you up in your gi so you can't get away, and they're basically throwing you on your fucking
and then
head.
they land on top of you.
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of like spiking you.
Yep, exactly, and that's perfectly okay.
That's very dangerous.
But I can't double leg slam you. So I can't count how many times I've picked somebody up in Nago or Fuji, and I've had to set them down softly so I don't get DQ'd, and then they've got a hold of my neck, and I'm having to scramble out. Where if I could have just slammed him, things would have been different.
Right.
Or right now, this one really pisses me off. IBJJF finally said, "Hey, Nogi, brown and black, you can do heel hooks." I'm like, fuck yeah, but only if you're 20 years old.
For adults.
If you're 30 or older, you can't do a heel hook.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? Like, newsflash, bro. All these 20-year-olds are going to be 30. They don't just stop aging. But, it's a money grab because all the high-level grapplers that heel hook right now, Craig Jones, fucking Gordon Ryan, all the Danaher Death Squad and the B team, they're all in their 20s. Mm-hmm. And they're not doing worlds because they can't do the shit that they want to do.
Well, yeah, I think if you look at the Masters community, I think the majority of those guys don't want
tap the fuck out
to do heel hooks.
So why at 20 years old is it okay to do it, but you can't do it at 30 and 40? It's still jiu-jitsu. You're still the same belt.
You can still compete in Masters, or you can compete in adult and do it.
Yeah, you can, but still, that's if we're gonna be like, hey, we can do this, then all of us should be able to do it.
Right.
It makes no sense, and it's just another thing. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Now I can't slam you in your head or heel hook you.
Yeah.
Why?
So when you talk about you want to slam people, now is it like you pick them up and you kind of carry them for a second and then you choose when to slam them,
no,
or
I double leg?
Is it like just taking
the legs to the side?
Yeah,
and go
just
straight
like
down.
Yeah, like it's like a hard shot, and you're not slowing your momentum down, right?
Not slowing down. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
A double leg takedown.
Yeah.
I'm not like picking you up and then power bombing you.
Because that's the problem. Guys will do that too, right? They'll pick you up and then you're like helpless. Like, dude, I'm clearly helpless.
That
up
makes
here.
sense to me. Though.
That's like, why are you gonna fucking slam me and drive all your weight into my ribs?
That makes sense to me. I get that.
Yeah.
But it just this normal double leg. There's no reason I can't do that.
Yeah.
You got high school kids doing that, for God's sakes. Why can't we do that?
Yeah.
And if it's something you're not good at or you're afraid it's going to happen, take your ass to your gym and be like, Coach, I need to learn this shit.
Yeah.
Or, hey, maybe your break fall sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or, hey, maybe learn how to sprawl.
Yeah.
So we're taking elements out of jiu-jitsu that should still be there. Because if somebody was like, nah, I don't want to do that.
But what if a guy doesn't want to get slammed?
Okay, you got options. One, learn how to sprawl. Learn how to do takedowns to where you're doing the takedown first, right? Or don't compete.
Or, as a business guy who owns a jet or a tournament, you don't allow people to do it. And then, whether you like it or not, maybe you don't compete with them.
Yeah. True.
So you want to. So which is why you're creating the option.
This is why I created my option.
This is why you created the option.
In Combat Submission Invitational, and so I created this for a couple reasons. One, because I don't agree with all the rules.
Right. You're like why not be able to do this?
Okay. So there's one. Two, I really wanted to give back to the athletes. Like, I've been on a lot of different shows, jiu-jitsu, MMA, Muay Thai, a lot of different places where they really don't give two shits about the athlete. They just want you to pay your dues, show up, do your thing, and then they're like, deuces. They don't, man, I've been to some MMA fights where they like, hey, you need to sell tickets and you need to promote yourself. Bro, that's not my job. My job is to train, make weight, and fight. Like the rest of it should be your job. That's you want to make the money off of me and my performance. You need to do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got really tired of seeing a lot of promoters take advantage of these athletes who do all the fucking work.
Mm-hmm.
So and when we do a show, like our first, we did one show, and we're getting ready to do another one March 12th. So our first show, I had every athlete sign individual posters, just like the UFC does. So every athlete got a poster. Every athlete got a beer mug with the logo and the date engraved into the mug, man. Every one of them.
Cool.
So, they all got their own walkout music. I did a Fight of the Night trophy, all this shit to make it about the athletes. Because it's their show. Like, they're the ones that put in the work. Let's showcase what they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, and the other reason, well, two more reasons. One, how many jiu-jitsu shows are there? Just jiu-jitsu shows.
Jiu-jitsu shows?
Yes.
I know Fight to Win.
Mm-hmm.
There's...
Yeah, but that's a big one.
Right. Yeah. The other big one would be, there's Who's Number One.
Mm-hmm.
I know some smaller ones. I don't know if they put on like pro. I mean, obviously Fuji's doing their pro card right now. Emerald City is a circuit. They do more like tournaments though.
So there's not a lot.
There's not.
It's not a lot.
Yeah.
So I wanted to especially here in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do something else for the jiu-jitsu athletes.
I don't think there's anything from a combat standpoint other than maybe
EBI.
Eddie Bravo. Yeah.
Yep. EBI is the only one. So and so now not only we do no gi, just no gi jiu-jitsu, but all slams are legal, all submissions are legal, no points, no advantages, no judges. It's 8-minute time limit. You got 8 minutes to submit your opponent.
What happens? No.
So if you don't submit your opponent, you get up to 3 1-minute overtimes apiece.
Positionals.
So, yep.
Like EBI.
Yep. So EBI. So, but I added one. So you've got the back take, the spider web, and 50-50.
And the spider web is where, just for the people who don't know, like
you're in
person's on their back, you have like an arm bar.
Yes.
You're sitting off to the side there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then 50-50 position.
50-50.
Mm-hmm. But 50-50 is a give and take. Because you could submit me just as quickly as I can at 50-50.
Or you could
so it's a
out.
big risk.
Yeah.
It's a big risk.
Yeah.
So we do those. And then we also do combat jiu-jitsu where there's slaps to the face and palm strikes to the body once the individuals get to the ground.
So it's all combat jiu-jitsu.
No. So we have just no gi, where it's just no gi jiu-jitsu, all submissions legal, all slams legal.
Okay.
Same thing, no points, none of that. And then we have combat jiu-jitsu,
separate,
which is the same thing, but with the slaps to the face.
Open palm slaps.
Yes.
Oh, I thought everything you were doing was going to be.
No, because not everybody wants to do it.
Right.
So, right now.
But you're offering it.
Yes, offering both.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, so I'm doing the next show on March 12th. We're doing a 1-night 8-man bracket tournament.
Yeah.
During the show. So the winner, you have to win 3 matches, you get a belt. Get this real sweet belt.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
That's sweet, dude.
Yeah, we're just trying to make it bigger. And last time we did it in it was a little convention center, and we sold out. Like, I was worried. But we sold out. We had to put more seats in. LFA was in town. Yeah, LFA?
Yeah, LFA was
They were in St. Louis, so that killed a lot of people coming down, and athletes. And then Raleigh had an away football game and an away softball game. So I was like, fuck, man.
That's a lot to think about.
Yeah, so I was like, a horrible night to do this. Like, I didn't realize the school shit. But, man, we had people at the show getting phone calls from people at the football game because they were hearing about the show.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, wow.
So the next one is also going to be in Raleigh?
Yes, at the I can't say where it's at yet.
You can't say where it's going to be.
It's going to be bigger than the last one, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to finish some deals before you can.
Yeah, we just got to sign the contract, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just got some, dude. I mean, March, right?
March 12th.
That's right around the corner, dude. I mean, that's 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dang.
So my biggest problem, to be honest, is athletes. It's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
I'll match people up, or I have somebody help matching up because I don't match my guys because I don't want to hear the bullshit. So I have another guy helping me out, and so we're getting people matched up. and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I got your match. It's this person. They're like, I don't really want that guy. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't want that guy? You guys are the same fucking belt. What's the problem?
Yeah.
Well, you got anybody else? Like, what about this guy? And I'm like, that's a fucking blue belt. You're a brown belt. What are you talking about? No.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, we're just competing here.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man. It's bad. Like, a lot of people just don't want to lose.
Right.
And I get it. But you're not testing yourself if you're going in there against. Dude, I put one of my white belts against a 4-stripe blue belt. Combat Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
I mean, shit, as long as everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, as long as no one's, like, surprised. It's like, yeah, dude, you know what you're getting into?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
So everybody knows the rules, and I did a rules meeting. I'm like, hey, this is your last chance to, you can leave now if you want. But
Yeah. Dang, did you do a combat match?
I was going to, and I ended up, I got staff.
Oh, shit,
Yeah.
dude. Staff
fucking sucked, man. I was so mad, dude.
Staff is dangerous.
And my
dude.
opponent got mad because they had staff. I was like, bro, what
silly.
do you want me to do, man?
Yeah,
Like,
that's silly.
first of all, I can't legally
Yeah.
fucking go in a match against you. I got staff.
Well, yeah, do you want to get sick?
Dude, what he told me was, I got insurance. It ain't about that, bro. No, we can fucking roll any other time.
Dude, it's just jiu-jitsu, bro.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Don't get me started, man. I don't want to talk ill about people. we'll talk about that offline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you thinking about, bringing it up here to St. Louis?
We're going to eventually. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. I also want to do an all-female show.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Dude, girls are savage. Dude.
Bro,
Some of my favorite grapplers.
we
to
had
watch.
Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
I always fuck up her last name. Anyway, Arnold BJJ's Dakota.
Zimmerman.
Zimmerman, that's it. So she came up and she went against Stormy. Hell, I can't remember her last name either. But anyway, they had a fucking great match, man. Yeah, it was a great match. And then we had a teenage kid against a teenage girl. And they had fight of the night, man. Their video, somebody put on TikTok, they had 10 million views.
Shit.
I was like, holy shit.
Dude, no-gi grappling is exciting.
It is. And that's the other thing. It's so exciting. And nobody's worried about the points, so they're constantly trying to finish each other.
Right.
Which makes it even more exciting. And then the best part about this is it's on a 20 by 20 mat, and then there's chairs.
Yeah.
So that audience is right there.
Yeah.
They can hear everything. They can see everything. And then we have it up on a video up on the wall. Mm-hmm. So if it gets to a point where you're too far back or whatever, it's a bad angle, you can look up and see it on the video as well.
Right.
So everybody was like, this is fucking cool, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so it was fun, man.
I really like watching jiu-jitsu.
I do too, especially when it's like that where you're trying to finish each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the challenge is trying to get other people to want to get into it.
Yes. Yeah, because a lot of people play the point game and they play the stall, and then some people don't want to get smacked in the face.
Yeah.
But I tell the coaches, I'm like, hey, if you got guys that want to do MMA, this is a perfect stepping stone from training to competition, because they can go into this and get hit, but it's not catastrophic. You're not taking a knee or a shin to the face. You're not getting punched. So they'll know after this whether they really want to fight or not.
Well, also, even just from a self-defense standpoint, that's really good feedback.
Yep.
To know if you have good, because idealistically, we're trying to prevent somebody from being able to hit us.
Yes.
We're trying to control posture. We're trying to control limbs. We're trying to, make sure that we don't take damage.
The punch block series. Yep.
Exactly. 100%. So that's good feedback if you really want to take it there.
My bad. Yeah. Yeah.
Good,
it's a good stepping stone. So I'm hoping it continues to take off. So we'll see. We got something planned for the main event as well. So
yeah,
it'd be a nice little trophy for the main event.
Dude, just keep grinding it out, really, dude.
Yeah, Brian Hickenbotham helped us out, man. He did a lot of the graphics for it. That dude's a wizard, man.
Yeah.
Graphics. I wouldn't even tell him nothing. He'll be like, hey, what do you think of this? I'm like, holy shit, bro.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it took me like 4 minutes. I'm like, this would take me 4 weeks.
Brian's a good guy.
No, he's great, man. Brian's a good dude. Good dude. He's super, what's the word? He helps people out, doesn't ask for anything in return. Selfless, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, great dude, man. Love that guy.
Yeah, so he's doing all your graphics for you right now?
Well, yeah, he's awesome. He did our tickets and all that shit.
Oh, that's cool.
Killed it.
That's cool.
And then he came and announced, too.
Yeah.
He was the announcer for the show.
What's it feel like being on the promotion side of things?
I hate it, man. I just, like I said, it's getting athletes to commit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible.
In the beginning, you were in this space because you just enjoyed it and it was passion, and now everything is business.
Yeah, see, and that my wife always tells me I'm a horrible businessman. I am. I'm fucking horrible. Because you know me, man. I speak my mind no matter what. You ask me a question, I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
People sometimes don't want the answer that that you're gonna give them. Because I mean, you ask me a question.
We can't make everybody happy.
Nope.
But now you're a gym owner, and then you're running a promotion now, and you got some fighters.
Yep.
It's definitely not about you anymore.
No, it's not. It's about our team, and like all our guys. And I'll have an open mat sometimes, and no, it's raining or some shit, and I'll have like half the team, and I get mad. I'm like, what are y'all doing, man? Like, where the fuck are you at?
Yeah.
We're a team. Like, this is our house.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not here, what you don't understand is if you don't show up to practice, you're not helping your teammate.
Yeah.
It's not just you sitting at home. Like, your teammate needs the feedback. They got shit coming up.
Yeah.
Like, we got to help each other. You got to be in here. And then you're going to complain to me if you don't show for a week. And then your teammates whooping your ass the next week. And you're like, Coach, I don't understand. Well, it's because you're not here.
Right.
Everything that we worked on this week, you weren't here for. So they know shit that you don't know now.
Yeah.
Or they've tightened up something, did the little adjustment, made it better than it was 2 weeks ago, and now you're behind. And then you know this. You skip a day, it turns into a week, turns into a month. And it's not on purpose. Shit just happens. Like last week, we had the snowstorm. I couldn't open the gym for one day. And then, hey, you didn't come the day before, so now it's 2 days. And then we compete this weekend, so now you got your 4 days, no training.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should have just fucking came.
Happens quick.
Yeah. Time waits for no man.
Not at all.
Yep.
Dude, and there's a different mindset whenever because you're building a competition team.
Yep.
I mean, there's a different mindset and level of commitment when you're talking about doing it competitively.
Yeah. So, all my guys are big fans of the Daisy First crew.
Yeah.
They love it. They love it. They watch all their videos. And it's great. I love what's going on for Heath and those guys. Man, they've busted their ass.
Yeah.
But they'll come in talking about their shit, and they're like, oh, man, I wish we was at tournaments yelling and screaming. I'm like, oh, fucking come train.
That's it.
You've got to train. They just train. They savagely train.
They believe in each other.
Exactly.
They support each other.
Yep.
If you want that, then do that.
Exactly.
Come to practice. Here's one of the big things that they do, which I really appreciate, is even if you're injured, there'll be guys who will just come and just sit there.
Exactly.
And just be there.
Yep. I tell my guys the same thing. You don't have to be on the mat. Just because you're hurt or sick, bring your ass in, sit on the bench, and watch and learn. Mm-hmm. Give feedback to your training partner when he comes off the mat. Be like, hey, man, you weren't tucking your elbow here. Or, you're shooting with you're looking down at the ground. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
or just cheer.
Yeah.
Just cheer.
Yep. So that's another thing that we do.
Be in there. Just cheering.
We'll have practices where I have the fucking TV up loud with music and everyone's yelling and screaming and they get that competition vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's hard to hear and, everyone's in there yelling and screaming. It's hot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's always hot in my gym.
Yeah.
Always hot.
Yeah. But just being there, being around everybody, even if you just sit there and just watch, like that matters.
It does.
And that's how that goes a long way to building that culture at the gym, that camaraderie, right? Yep. Where even if you don't feel like it, if you lose, so what? You're still cheering on your friend.
Exactly.
Like, I know you don't feel good right now, but let's cheer on our teammate.
Yep.
Like, let's be supportive.
We're a team.
Yeah.
The team is more important than our individual goals.
Yeah. And they do something which is super. I'm trying to get better, and this is something I'm thinking about because whenever I competed at Nogi Worlds this year, I flew down just on the day. I was trying to make it as cheap as possible.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
It's expensive.
It can be really expensive.
Fuck yeah.
So what I ended up doing to make it cheaper was I flew there and back on the same day, just using points.
Yeah.
So I kind of was like, all right, well, at least this way I can still sleep in my bed. I'm not off my schedule. It was just like I think I woke up.
See, you're trying to be too comfortable.
Some of that. Well, I don't like to. I feel like when you get off your routine, they can fuck things up.
See, I'm an Army guy.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about routine.
Yeah, see,
it doesn't matter to
I'm
me.
different. I'm very regimented.
It doesn't matter to me.
I'm very regimented. Like, I can travel in different things, but one, I've noticed if I travel, it does throw off my digestion, and it just, I don't know, man. So either way, this was just my mindset. I was trying to just make it as not, I didn't want to go out of my routine as much as possible. And, well, the biggest thing was I didn't want to have to spend money I didn't want to spend. I don't like Dallas, first of all. Dallas is not my jam.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to fucking hang out. I don't want to hang out in Dallas, and then I don't want to spend all this money on a hotel and food and just all this shit. I'm like, well, I can just fly down on points and compete and then fly back. And that's what I did, and it worked out. But because of that, Like at that time, I was training a lot with the Daisy Fresh guys, getting ready for
Yep.
this. But like I missed all of the hanging out and the camaraderie prior, like the 3 days prior, because I competed on the last day.
Yeah.
I missed like the 3 days prior where I could have just like hung out and just been there and
Yep.
just like been a part of the team.
Yep.
And like that's important. Like that matters. I think so. I think about that. Like, man, I should have just went down early
Yeah.
and just sucked it up and just got the full experience and been a part of the team. And like that shit matters.
It does. It matters a lot.
Goes a long way.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about you. It's about
No.
on those days whenever you're not competing, you can go support the other
And
people.
you carry that with you into your matches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're looking at buying a bus. So
Just
we
drive everybody.
Just drive everybody all together. We'll all chip in gas and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at doing. So.
Shit.
Yeah.
Convert some of it.
Yeah, man. We're
Sleep in that
yeah,
shit.
yeah. Because man, it's a lifestyle, bro. You know this. Any combat sport, if you're gonna get into it and you want to win, it's a lifestyle. You can't you can't half-ass it.
It's a slow grind.
Yeah.
Building a
takes
team,
time.
what you're trying to do.
Man, it takes so much time. And dude, the first I don't know 5-6 months, I was so just like this was a mistake. Dude, there'd be classes I'd have 1 or 2 people. And I'm like, holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is bad. I mean, in my thought process was, there's nothing here in Rolla. You know, there's nothing from here to St. Louis, and there's nothing from me to Fort Leonard, which is 30 miles. Then from there, it's nothing all the way down to Springfield. So I'm like, people are gonna come, and for the first couple months, nobody showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. And then I think I went to no-gi pans and won no-gi pans. And that was a big deal. I had like 10, 15 people come in after that. And then we went to our first tournament, and I took 4 or 5, and everyone medaled. We took all the gold medals, and we took third as a team. And then that next day, man, I had like 30 people.
Oh, nice.
Just walked in. I was like, what the hell?
Because those 15 brought somebody.
Yeah, because they social media. All of them like, oh man, I want gold, dude. Blah blah blah. Over at Honey Badger, and then people just started walking in.
It's just a slow grind.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to, because we put a lot of money into the gym, a lot, and I just didn't want to like waste that money that I could have used for my family. On this gym. So
I always remember the story that I heard on this business podcast in relation to marketing, and in general, what they found with marketing when you run an ad campaign, you have to run it for at least 90 days.
Yeah.
And it's not until that 90-day mark that you actually start seeing success. So up until that 90-day mark, from day 1 to 89, it looks like everything you're doing is just wasting.
Yeah.
It's just wasted. It's for nothing.
Yeah.
So I think that principle, though, applies to anything when you're just talking about building something or gaining awareness. So it's like, let's just say you started, nobody knew about you. It's going to take 90 days until people start getting comfortable and start thinking about it. It's like they got to see you constantly. They got to see you. It's like, oh, that thing there, or or maybe it takes a while to get on the peripheral, and then they wait and then they judge. But around that 3-month mark, that's when people start feeling comfortable, kind of cross that bridge.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people are scared to walk in.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
People will walk in and watch a class and leave. They just leave.
Oh yeah.
Don't come back.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for everybody. Mm-hmm. It's hard work, man. That's the thing. Like, everybody wants everything so easy. And I tell people this. I'm like, any sport that you play is hard. Like, being on a beer league isn't hard. But if you want to go to college or play even semi-pro, like, you got to bust your ass. Mm-hmm. And how many people like get to that point even? How many people can even just go to college to play a sport? Like, people don't, they think about, oh yeah, man, baseball, 1 out of every 1,000 people might make it to college, right? Well, they don't think about that with jiu-jitsu or MMA. Everyone's like, oh man, anybody can do this. Like, bro, throwing a punch is hard. Mm-hmm. It's not as easy as everyone thinks it is. There's a lot of shit to it. And even just moving correctly in a stand-up stance is hard. Yeah. And especially, kids, it's easier. Because they've only been walking for, we'll say an 8-year-old, right? So that 8-year-old's only been walking for like 7 years, right? But if like a 30-year-old comes into the gym and wants to learn Muay Thai, you've been walking for 29 years. Now I got to teach you how to walk all over again, but differently. Yeah. So your muscle memory is telling you to do what you've been doing for 29 years, but you got to do it this way.
Yeah, you say you've had a lot longer to develop patterns.
Yeah, exactly. It's all muscle memory. All right. So people are used to walking 1 foot in front of the other. right? But if you want to strike and move, you can't move one foot in front of the other. You're gonna cross your feet and get knocked over. So you got to teach them to move a certain way, and they get so frustrated and so mad about it. And I always have to tell them, hey, how long did it take you to learn how to ride a bike? Did you just get on it and ride a bike?
Right.
Well, no. Well, this is the same thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to learn it in 2 minutes. It's going to take some time. Like, and you have to put in the time.
Yes, the process of learning.
Exactly.
It takes time.
And the older you are, the harder that is to learn. Because it's that, you can't teach an old dog a new trick. Same shit.
Well, yeah, you're learning new movement patterns.
Yeah. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Keeping your hands up.
Yeah.
Keeping your elbows tucked in.
And then some people are better athletes than others.
Yes.
So they just naturally, that was one of the things I did notice the most with teaching kids, is that some kids will just naturally just pick up shit. You see this with adults too, but they'll just naturally know, they'll know how to move their body better.
Or they can watch it and do it.
Yeah, they'll just have a better understanding and sense of their body in relation to space and how to move. And some kids, it's fucking tough. It's tough.
I have a guy in my gym that teaches kids classes because I can't do it.
It's tough.
I just don't have the patience.
It really helped me learn jujitsu, teaching kids.
Teaching at all is great for jiu-jitsu.
Teaching at all.
It makes you so much better because you think about what you're doing because you're explaining it while you're doing it. So it's like you're like, wait a minute, that's not right. I got to fix this shit. I'm not tight enough here. So it makes your jiu-jitsu better. I've noticed that.
Yeah, or, at least sometimes you do things unconsciously.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're like, why do I do that? Oh, I do this. I didn't realize I do this. Or for sure.
Same thing when you're teaching. It's something that you do all the time. You forget to mention it when you're teaching, and nobody's getting it right. And you're like, why the fuck are they not? Shit.
Yeah, I
missed
have
that
to
bring
point.
everybody back. Be like, hey, my bad.
And that's just a
I've
process
been doing this
too.
for so long. I just do it. I don't think about it.
And teaching is a process too.
Oh man, it is. I mean, and so that's another thing. Like, I got a guy that just got his purple belt, and I got another one getting ready to get his purple belt, and they have to teach before they can get their purple belt. I make them teach. They have to teach.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want them to teach?
So like the white to blue belt shit, I make them teach that.
To another white belt?
Yep. Because they're a blue belt already.
Uh-huh.
So they need to be able to articulate that and teach that to someone.
Yeah.
Before they can get their purple belt.
So that way they have a full understanding of the blue belt test.
Yes.
So first you have to learn it and be able to do it, and then once you're a blue belt, you want them to be able to also pass that along.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're reinforcing it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I can see
so
that.
They have to teach in order to get their purple belt.
Oh, right on.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that most people usually, especially in a good gym, I think most people are usually pretty happy to start sharing and teaching and helping
the problem is,
their other people.
We got to be careful with who's sharing what.
Yes, you do. So you're kind of focusing them on the things that you should share.
Yes.
And when you should share it.
They should already know this. So, like, if I want to make sure that what's being taught is not only what I was taught, but it's the right way to teach it.
It's not just some white belt trying to teach another white belt. We're both figuring it out.
Or it's not my blue belt watch some move on YouTube that he really doesn't understand, but he thinks he does because he's using it against the white belts and it's working.
Yeah. It's like, hey, don't teach that shit.
Exactly.
You can only teach this shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. That you've already been taught, that you know it works.
Right.
So you're going to teach this right here, step by step, the way you had to test for it. Mm-hmm. So that way, everything you're teaching is correct, but you're also learning how to teach.
Right. You're kind of keeping the constraints on there, but still developing.
But giving them freedom.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not a bad way to go at all. I mean, shit, it sounds like a great way to develop everybody.
Yeah.
I'm
hoping so. I'm hoping so. Mike's going to hear this and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Dude, do what you got to do, man. Like, you're a black belt, bro.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
I'm
you are.
Brown belt. I am a brown belt.
I'd hand it to you.
I am still a brown belt.
You've been doing it long enough. It's all arbitrary.
Nah. I'd like to win worlds at brown.
You won worlds at brown.
I won no-gi pans.
Oh, you won no-gi pans which is also a world level tournament.
That year there was no no-gi worlds.
That was the only national tournament that there was.
Champion. Woo!
To a degree, shit. Fuck yeah, man.
Fuck it.
I don't see why not.
Yeah. Dude, I beat the number one ranked guy in the world.
It was a big tournament. Mm-hmm. It was the tournament at the time. So yeah, it counts.
That guy got his black belt. It's funny. I've not to toot my own horn, but I've beaten several brown belts in the last 2 years that are all black belts now.
You're a black belt. It's just at this point, it's just
time.
Just having it physically on you in your hands. There's a lot of different ways to look at it. It's not like you have to place a whole lot of emphasis on it, but I'm just saying, as a black belt, You're a black belt.
I appreciate
gonna
that. I'm in no hurry to get it. When I get it, I know I'm going to get it.
Yeah,
So
without a doubt.
I'm in no hurry right now. Like,
it'll happen. It's just what it is.
Yeah,
but
it is funny though when people come in the gym, they're like, "What belt are you in?"
Yeah,
brown belt. Oh,
yeah. But I don't.
Hold out.
Yeah, but I also don't have any issues just saying my fucking opinion.
Oh yeah,
agree or not? Like I'm gonna tell you what I think you are,
and that's why we're good friends.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
So,
yeah, honey badger.
Because I feel like I think that's almost like a negative thing in jiu-jitsu where you take it however you want, but I think that in jiu-jitsu, so many people, because you hear constantly like, don't do it for the belt, don't do it for the belt. And that's okay. Don't do it for the belt. Like, don't have that be your sole focus while you're doing this thing, because that'll be super discouraging.
Yes.
And it's all relative too, because you're kind of at the discretion of your instructor and your school and the system and all these different things. You're on your own journey. You know, you can't compare yourself to somebody else. But with that being said, it's like when somebody tells you that you are something, or even when your instructor promotes you, so many people would be like, oh man, am I really this? They'll question it. They'll be like, oh, I'm not this. I'm not this. Even when somebody even tells you that you are this, they'll be like, oh, I'm not that. Or, man, I'm not really ready for this. It's like this. It's kind of being like humble, but too much so.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean? It's just too much. It's like, hey man, just take it for what it is.
Man,
it is what it is.
Remember when I was salty about how long it took me to get my blue belt? I was so salty.
Yeah, just being impatient.
I was crushing
you went through a lot of
all
systems
kinds of people, remember? I was crushing people.
When you had been training for a long time at that point, kind of been at a couple different places.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, which sucked.
Had to restart.
Yeah,
essentially.
I did. And I remember right before I got my blue belt, I had won another like tournament. And it was a purple belt tournament. And Mike's like, hey, if you win the in-house tournament, I'll give you a blue belt. I was like, Mike, I've won it 3 times.
Yeah.
He was like, well, fucking win it again. All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So, like, in that scenario, you're a blue belt.
Yeah. Oh, man, those in-house tournaments, man, were always so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun. Now it's cool to take my guys to the in-house tournaments.
Yeah, I always did in-house tournaments, like as a white belt and blue belt.
Bro, they're harder than any tournament I've ever been in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, whenever I got my blue belt, it was after winning an in-house tournament. But everybody, I beat 2 really good white belts, and I also beat a blue belt.
Yeah.
And I submitted everybody. So it was like, I mean, shit, dude.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good competition.
Yeah. Oh man, I do miss those days. The old big gym.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was you, me,
the one
Kurt,
Cave Springs
Slattery.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, we'd just beat the shit out of each other.
A lot of hard
Jake
sparring.
Roberts.
Yeah, Jake Roberts there. I mean, Lance Benoist was fighting at that time. Raz House was fighting at that time.
Yep.
Andrew Sanchez was there.
Yep.
A lot of good people, man. We had a lot of good people come in and out of there, just stopping by. Fuck
EJ.
Dude, yeah, EJ. I remember one time Corey Anderson stopped in there.
Oh yeah, Caveman Rickles came in, and I fucking
did he come in there? I don't think I trained with him.
He came in. He had a fight coming up and came in, and I took him down a couple times.
Really?
I was like, what the fuck?
I don't think I met him when he came in.
He's a super nice guy.
I rolled with Zach Cummings when he stopped in.
Yep. I rolled with Zach and what's his name, Johnson, from when they were at Springfield Fight Club.
Anthony Johnson?
No.
No, I'm sorry, not Anthony Johnson. Michael Johnson.
Michael Johnson.
Sorry,
yeah, I rolled with them when they were at Springfield Fight Club.
I sparred with Michael. He came up one time at the very first. I don't think you ever probably went to.
I wasn't at the first.
The very first location, the one room. I sparred with Michael one time. And then dude, Jake Hecht, whenever he was in the UFC,
it was crazy.
I mean, I think we already said Jake Collier.
Jake Collier.
Just so many people just would stop by that place, especially on a Sunday. It was just kind of like
Sundays were the fucking
shit.
shit.
Just a spar day. You never knew who was going to stop in.
Yep, and he just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, dude, that was a time. That was a time, bro. Yeah. Sometimes those things will pop up on the timeline. Yep. I'm like, dang, dude, I trained with that person and that person and that person. And it's a small community.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. I wish I'd have been in a better place in my life then.
Same.
Oh, God, man. No telling what could happen. It is what it is. I'm happy now. So
yeah,
I'm happy. Got a good family. My wife keeps me in line.
Yeah.
She's super supportive with the gym and everything. Yeah, she trains. So.
When did you get into the sport?
2008.
2000. Like, how old were you?
Oh, shit.
Like, you got into it like a little bit later.
I was in my 30s.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Like, you're on that Randy Couture path.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, because I'm 44.
Yeah.
And still.
You look like you're 24.
Yeah. Dude, I went to Vegas Gi Worlds, and then I also did Jiu-Jitsu Con.
Oh, did you?
So I did the 20-year-old bracket, and it was funny because
Yeah, you did adult.
yeah. So I'm standing there in the bullpen, and all these cats like high fiving each other and what's up, dude, and fist bumping and shit. And I'm just kind of standing there because I don't know any of these cats, and they're all kind of like glancing back at me. And the one guy's like, "Hey man, what bracket you in?" I'm like, "I'm in your bracket," and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm so and so. I don't think I've seen you on the circuit." And I'm like, "That's because I'm old enough to be your dad."
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
All right, what are you doing here? I was like, I can't find a match anywhere
Yeah.
in my age group, so here I am.
Yeah, dude. Well, it's kind of one of those things that's arguable, right? But in general, at least from a black belt perspective, I think the adult division is just kind of viewed as the elite division.
Yeah. But I don't give a shit. I want to compete.
Yeah. So you kind of get better competition. But those all fucking. I mean, it goes up to 29, and you do see some masters people come down to adult. And here's the thing: I guess if you are specifically talking black belts, it's kind of arguable and debatable whether or not adult is better than Master 1.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'd agree.
Because Masters is savage, especially at the black belt.
Yep.
Gi's perspective, no gi is pretty hands down. I mean, it's all in the adult division.
It's supposedly a young man's game. I don't give a fuck. I don't feel my age.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep going.
Well, you're talking, the leg game isn't as dangerous if, one, you're not being a dick and leading with ego and like really trying to hurt somebody. But the more you train it and you understand it, it's not as dangerous as you think. People tap often, like tap too early, like they're not really in danger and they think that they are. Yeah. I think we're getting better at it where you're seeing less people doing as much twisting and rolling and stuff. And now we have better understanding and you have more control and you start applying better braking mechanics. So that way it's not this out of control crazy thing. And most oftentimes, if you're going to get hurt, it's usually because, again, lack of understanding, and you hurt yourself defending the wrong way.
And now, so my big thing with my guys, because I teach all my guys leg locks from white belt up.
Yeah, started early.
Yeah, because and people will come in. So my guys, because I got a lot of Army guys, a lot of college kids, so they go home to visit or whatever, and they go to other gyms, and they get in trouble.
Now you're teaching heel hooks from this stuff, not just straight ankles.
Everything. Heel hooks, toe holds, knee bars, all of it.
And you want them to start using it as early as possible?
We do. When we have live rolls at the gym, we use them.
Yeah.
But all my guys understand the mechanics because I don't just teach them to move. I show them at what point it's, all right, from here on, it's too far. Mm-hmm. You're going to break some shit.
Yeah.
All right. And we go over the braking mechanics and we go over the proper way to hold it. So my guys will get into a heel hook and we'll start to defend it. And instead of being a macho dick, we let go and transition to the next leg lock.
Yeah.
So my guys already are ready to go to the next movement when somebody can get out of their leg lock. So that way they're not holding on, because you see that too, especially at the higher levels. People will hold on to a leg lock for too long and then give up a position because they're holding that leg lock. Mm-hmm. And so once the knee gets past that center line, the leg lock's gone.
Right.
But people will hold it instead of transitioning to the next move. So all my guys are already transitioning to 2, 3, and 4 different leg locks.
Yeah, that's really good because that's when you start getting more advanced, right? Because you'll see a lot of guys, especially early in their career, where they'll try to, instead of again transitioning to that next thing once they've lost something, they'll try to force it, or they'll keep attacking something that they don't have, or they'll hold something that they don't have, or they'll try to just like finish a submission just because they want to get the finish. Yep. I want to get that finish, and it's like, fuck, dude. Now, but you don't have it anymore. You got to recognize it and bail and go on to the next thing, and so that can lead to injury.
When I teach, I'll teach them. For instance, I call it the attack position. So we get in a position where you can go armbar, triangle, or omoplata, no matter what. Mm-hmm. Where it depends on you. You let me go wherever you want. I'm going to attack one of those 3. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, once they get to this point with the elbow, that's gone. You got to transition to this. Mm-hmm. Once they get that here, so they know at what point that submission is going to fail and to move on to the next one. Right. So that's part of our classes.
That's good to have that understanding.
Yeah, I think so. So that's why I implemented that with it. Because again, you don't want people holding on to shit and then losing them by 2 points because they gave up a position. Right. Yeah. So all my guys transition to stuff. Yeah. And you'll, like, if you come tomorrow, you'll see my white belts transitioning to shit, and people are like, what the fuck? How long? Hey, that guy should be in blue belt division. I'm like, he's only been with me a year, man.
Yeah.
But when like I was saying earlier, my guys would be like, "Oh, I saw this. Hey, can we start learning this, coach? Not till you can pass guard.
Yeah.
Like you got to do these things first."
Keep it simple.
Exactly.
The fundamentals matter, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like it's boring, but dude, this is
Yep.
what makes you better. You got to do
Like
these things.
our
Like we can't build
one of our
everything.
warm ups is the Andrew Wiltsey buzzsaw pass.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Warm ups. Yep. I'm like, we got to pass guard. You guys are great when we get in a position to submit. You guys are great, but you can't get there. So we're going to work on passing guard. We did that for like 2 months. That's all we did. Pass guard. Pass guard. Right here. Here are 4 different ways to pass guard. I don't care which one you use. Or use them together. Here, this one starts to fail. Go back to this one.
Yeah.
Then go back to this one. Back and forth. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, dude, once you learn to how, like, I've definitely started leaning more into, like, securing the position.
Yep.
Like, once you really have that understanding of how to control and secure this position, the fucking submission is so damn easy. You know what I'm saying? It's like you'll try to throw up the submission, you'll lose it. All right, fuck, well, that was a bad position.
What's next?
What can I? Yeah, well, what's next? And then as you're trying to figure out how to correct that, it's like, what can I do different next time, so that way I have a better lockdown on this.
Exactly.
So they can't get away.
Dude, I'm a fucking honey badger in every sense of the word. I don't give a fuck. Don't care, and I will savagely scatter shit from everyone. I'll learn shit from everyone.
Yeah.
I don't care. So my jiu-jitsu is like, in a sense, all over the place.
Yeah.
Because it's not Brazilian, it's not Japanese, it's not American.
I don't even like calling it Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
I don't
anymore.
either. You can't, in my gym, it's not
it's
BJJ.
Jiu-Jitsu.
People come in and go, you do BJJ here?
Nope.
We do Jiu-Jitsu.
We do Jiu-Jitsu.
Like, well, what's the difference? Like, well, mine's a mixture of it all. And with some catch wrestling and some college wrestling.
Yeah, well, America has its imprint on Jiu-Jitsu now, especially with the wrestling.
Yes.
So it's Jiu-Jitsu.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
the Brazilian part was added for marketing.
And that's fine, but yeah, people are like, hey, my guys used to go, hey, hashtag BJJ. No, don't do that.
No. Jiu-Jitsu.
We're Jiu-Jitsu here.
Yeah, we just do
We
Jiu-Jitsu.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, dude.
Yep. I don't even like to buy things like for the gym that say BJJ.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it. Or if it says BJJ on something, we'll cover it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, it's just Jiu-Jitsu, dude.
Yeah. And it's just me.
Honey Badger give no fucks.
Gives no fucks. You know who gave me that nickname, right?
Who?
Fucking Mike.
Really?
Yep. So I'll tell you a story. This is a funny story. So Julius, back before Julius was a big deal. He was just a big deal then. And I was still training with you guys. Julius and I would beat the fuck out of each other. And I was little then, like smaller than I am now. I was, walking around 150, 155, walking.
Yeah.
So Julius and I were in the gym one day. It was just him and me. And we were doing MMA. And Julius was in my guard, fucking smacking the shit out of me, and I was smacking the shit out of him. We're just punching and going at it, and we're both laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
And it was just the two of us. So Mike walks in, and he's watching us, but we didn't know. We're in there, and we went a whole nother round, and Mike's like, what the fuck are you doing? And we're like, what? He's like, he's a fucking 205er. What do you do? Like, he's hitting you really hard. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. And he's like, you're a little honey badger.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Dude, those things are crazy animals, dude.
Yeah,
I was telling Deja about them. I was showing her videos. I'm like, look at this honey badger. Don't give a
Don't give
fuck.
a fuck.
Dude. And they're like indestructible.
Yeah, and all my guys love it. They're like, we don't give a fuck. No, we don't.
No, it fits you.
don't.
It's
Yeah.
a perfect, that's a
Yeah.
perfect representation of just,
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah, and our team, because my whole team's like that. They just want to compete and win and
Yeah.
train hard.
Yeah.
They don't care.
You know, we were talking about Daisy Fresh. Everybody thinks that they train really hard there, and they do.
They do.
They do train hard, but they train hard for jiu-jitsu. Coming from an MMA background like you and I have, that's just regular MMA practice. It's just people in jiu-jitsu aren't used to that. So for jiu-jitsu, yes. So whenever I go up there and train, people are like, "Oh, this is so hard." I'm like, I guess this is all I've ever known.
Exactly.
Yes, it's hard training, but this is all I've ever known.
It's not a shock to us.
This is normal training for me. This is how you're supposed to train.
And my guys get the same thing.
It's an MMA intensity for jiu-jitsu. That's what sets them apart.
Yeah. I've had my guys go to other gyms when they're going home to travel and get kicked out of the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I never thought we trained hard.
I didn't either.
I always hear it from other people.
Yeah.
And now I train even harder than those guys.
I train hard. We train
like we used to train hard at St. Charles MMA for MMA.
Yeah.
And that just carries over to everything else. But like from a jiu-jitsu perspective, the gym is kind of a lot. It's different than ever when we used to be there, where like MMA was it was just a little bit. It's just different. Now the gym's been around so long. There's a lot of guys who only do jiu-jitsu and they've
Yeah.
been there for a long time. So they don't have that same MMA intensity. So there's just kind of like that little bit of a difference. So now on any given day, when you go roll jiu-jitsu there, maybe you get a really tough guy like an MMA guy.
Yeah.
Because I've done that. I roll with an MMA guy. I'm like, fuck, dude, you're not super technical, but I can't submit you. You fight through everything. You're really tough. You make me work for everything.
Mentality.
Yeah, you just train hard. It's a hard roll.
Yes.
And then I'll go with a jiu-jitsu guy, and maybe you have better technique, but it's an easier roll for me because you just don't have the same intensity. And because I've just learned, because whenever I was getting ready for Nogi Worlds and Worlds, I was taking more trips up to Daisy Fresh. And so you just kind of get accustomed again to bringing that same intensity into jiu-jitsu.
It's important.
Yeah. So when you get like a jiu-jitsu guy who isn't necessarily competition geared and they're not as hard, it's like you're just not you're not bringing it enough, son. You're not bringing it enough.
I feel the same way because I'm always going for a submission. I always want to submit you. You can feel when people are just pointing. Guys, you can feel it when you're rolling with them at Worlds and shit. You can just feel it. Like, oh, this motherfucker isn't going to try to submit me.
Trying to slow it down.
Yeah.
You can feel the difference. But yeah, man, just being aggressive will go a long way.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You'll break people's will.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
As you impose your will.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Nice
bro.
Yeah.
Dude, it applies in so many areas of life, and I've heard so many people say it in different sports events and just all like on national television. I've heard people say it so many times.
Yep.
It just applies because it's a truth. Yeah. Like in life, there are truths, and that is a truth. Like you have the ability to impose your fucking will.
Damn right, and it's up to you.
Yeah, it starts with your mind, and
it starts with the training that you put in.
Yes.
Yep. With you and your teammates, you have to win on the mats in your gym before you can win anywhere else. You've got to put in the time. You got to put in that intensity. You have to, or you just can't half-ass it and expect to do great things.
There's no shortcut, dude.
No, God, no, and like there's too many people in the world now that think there is.
Yeah. We're living in an interesting time.
It's a weird time. It's scary.
Well, with the whole lockdown and shit, dude, that's why kind of like circling back to the earlier part of the conversation, talking about like living in Raleigh and how now I'm appreciating like the Midwest and living here. And like we're talking about like maybe moving out to Wentzville. It's kind of nice to have the space to be away from some people because if shit goes a little sideways, it's just nice to have that distance where people aren't as close in proximity or there's not as dense of a population. Maybe you can set up some resources like maybe you have a well. Or just
or food, or
some chickens and some self-sufficiency, or
especially like here, could you defend your house? You know what I mean? Like,
you sound crazy saying that shit to people who want to be complacent, but exactly, it's a reality. It's like it's not being crazy; it's actually being logical.
Yeah, dude, I'm a fucking brown belt in jiu-jitsu. I've fought MMA. I've been to combat, and I still everywhere I go, I have a weapon.
Yes.
I don't go anywhere without a weapon. Ever.
Yes. Well, you've seen true evil.
Yeah.
You've been blown up.
Yeah.
Like you've seen it. You've experienced it. You've felt it.
And people don't think that kind of evil exists. It's baffling to me. Baffles me. We could talk about that just for 2 hours.
Well, that's what's scary, dude, because we have this illusion of, oh, you hurt my feelings. You made me feel a certain way. But guess what? There are people who will murder you and not think fucking twice. And don't like you because...
for whatever reason.
Whatever reason. You grew up on this patch of land. I don't like you.
Yep. And it's fucking insane.
Or you believe in freedom.
Yep.
Or equality.
Yeah.
Now you're... fuck you.
Yeah. Or you're not wearing a mask. Or you are wearing a mask.
That's where we're at today.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
It's all the division.
That shit fucking... Yeah, oh, man. There's another thing we could talk about forever. Like, the media and both sides of the table, right and left, are dividing our country. And if we're not careful, we're going to lose our country.
We're imploding from the inside.
So I say this a lot, man, and that's one of the crazy things about owning a gym is sometimes I get on these little soapboxes.
You used to do your rants.
I'm going to go back to those. I am.
Well, that's therapeutic.
So, well, it's not just therapeutic for me, though. People would tell me they love it because I would say things that other people were afraid to say or they couldn't say because of whatever position they were in at work or, whatever. And I don't, me, I'm going to fucking speak the truth. And to me, like, I don't give a shit where you're from. I don't give a shit what color you are. None of that matters to me. As long as you're a respectful human being to me, I'm going to do the same to you. Like, that's the way it should be. Like, if you call me at 2 in the morning, like, bro, I'm broke down on my way. My wife and I, just today and yesterday, we've helped 2 people in ditches. We drove by, saw them in a ditch. We stopped and helped them out. And they were like, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like 10 people drove by. Well, I'm not that guy. I'm going to fucking help you. Like,
yeah.
There's not enough of that
Just
anymore.
being a good person.
Yeah. So I'm going to start my rants again because the reason I stopped is my wife and I lived in a house. And then when we moved to Rolla, we couldn't find a house that we wanted. So we lived in an apartment. And there was just no way I could do my rants because my kids don't need to hear that shit. Mm-hmm. So we bought a house now. We're getting things moved in and settled. So I'm going to start doing my rants again.
Cool.
Because shit needs to be said, man. Like, look at this shit with Joe Rogan right now. They're trying to cancel Joe Rogan.
It's so interesting what's going on with Joe Rogan as like a fan of Joe Rogan who has actually listened to his show for, God, probably 5 or 6 years now, like a good while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's funny because the way it started was it was an attack on Joe Rogan for spreading misinformation surrounding COVID.
Yeah, because of what his self-care.
Well, there was kind of that, and then he had Dr. Robert Malone and Dr. Peter McCullough on, who both went they go against the popular narrative. Yeah. Let's put it that way. So that was controversial, and of course, if you're looking at traditional media outlets, like they're threatened because I mean his audience is massive. You know what I mean?
11 million people a day.
And here's the thing: I like Joe Rogan because it really is an honest conversation. Like it really is. It's just long form conversations, and you get opinions, and it seems very truthful with good intent, and you learn a lot. Yeah. Like there's true value there, right? So it started as that, and then now you're seeing all these other artists. Like people are mad because what it really boils down to for a lot of artists is just money. They're just like, oh well, I'm not getting paid what he's getting paid, and it's like, okay, cool, I understand your point, and you do have that right, especially in a capitalist society where it's like, oh well, you don't feel like you're getting paid fair, then you can take your shit off and go to somewhere else where you feel like you're getting paid.
But why try to cancel somebody for doing his own thing?
Right. So that's when you start wrapping this other shit up into it is when it starts getting weird, right? Because now it's evolved to now he's a racist. Yeah. And I just saw this clip of it was probably it was probably 15 or 16 short clips of him saying the word nigger. And here's the thing: I've listened to a lot of his conversations, and I've heard him use that word in a lot of the conversations. And this is where things get weird because we're all entitled to our beliefs, and we can all. Some people are of the belief is like you just don't say it. There's no rhyme or reason you should never say it. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for believing that if you just feel like people shouldn't say it. But I can say from having listened to his conversation, oftentimes it'll be a situation where it'll be like he'll be telling a story and it'll be like, and the person said this, or he'll be speaking about it from the position of like, this is just a word. Why can't we say this word? Or it's not like intent. First of all, like intent matters. So whenever you're looking at that clip, you're taking a lot of those out of context and you're not really getting the full intent or the message of the conversation. So I don't really get with that. There was one clip though where he was making a joke, and I think you just got to take things with a grain of salt in that. Like, all right, I think he'd probably agree it was a bad joke, and one, it was really fucking old. But why does this thing have to evolve from he's spreading misinformation to now he's a racist and now we need to cancel him? It's clearly a smear campaign that's evolving into this other thing.
The easiest thing for anyone to do right now, for any purpose of misinformation, you don't like somebody, it's racism. Right. We've got to use the racism card.
And the people who are mad don't even listen to his show. Yeah. So that's the thing. You don't have any context. No. You just see this little thing. Oh, I knew it. And it's like, well, dude, I've listened to a lot of hours.
Yeah. But racism is the big thing right now. It's been for a couple years. Like it is. That's a whole other topic.
Well, it's definitely one of those hot topics where it's just it's easy to bring up and then just make that the focus.
Yeah, with no context or proof.
It's right. Just, bam. Boom. There it is. And now we're focused on it.
So how much misinformation is being thrown out there about racism now? Holy shit. It's everywhere.
The narrative is just insane. You know, it's all about being a victim, which is really crazy. We're just in a weird time, dude, because
it's scary.
And when you overplay it, you downplay the real shit that really is happening.
Yes.
Like you're fucking it all up.
Yep. So the things that do need attention aren't getting it because all this other bullshit that's just being thrown in the mix is taking all the attention.
Right.
And social media is it's a huge platform. Everyone has a voice, whether it's legitimate or not. Everyone has a fucking voice.
Yeah.
And that's horrible. And like, and you see this all the time. Fucking we have more access to information than we've ever had in our entire fucking lives in the history of mankind, and we're dumber than we've ever been. No one looks shit up. We hear it and we're like, oh, fuck, that guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Why? Or get political here. How many people hated Trump but couldn't give you a reason why?
Yeah, it was an emotional thing for a lot of people.
Right. And I'm like, you're entitled to your opinion. Cool. I just want to have a conversation. Like, why do you hate him so much? Give me a reason. He's just an asshole. But why? Oh, he's just an asshole. I don't like him. It doesn't make any sense. Like, there should be a reason why you don't like someone or why you don't like what they're doing.
Right.
There should be a reason, not just because you heard someone else fucking say it.
Yeah.
Were you there? Like, did you see them do that? Like, are they making bad decisions for the country?
Yeah.
Same thing with Biden right now. Same shit.
Well, the thing is, we're all divided over these people, but it's like pro wrestling up there.
Fuck yeah.
They're all fucking on the same team, and they're all fucking us
all
over.
All they give a shit about is their pockets.
That's it.
They're not taking care of the American people. And that to me is scary. I spent a long time defending the freedoms of this country. My wife and most of my friends, same thing. Gave up years of our lives. Friends we'll never have back. Moments we'll never have back. And then people just discard it, just throw it away.
Yeah, the way we treat our veterans.
It's not even that. It's the way we treat all of us.
All people. But I'm speaking specifically to the people like you who've given so much, and countless wars, or just people come back and then
we're not the same.
We don't take care of them.
No.
At all, dude. The VA system is fucking insane.
How many conversations did you and I used to have about how bad the VA treated us?
All the time, dude.
Oh my God.
All the fucking time. Yeah. And it's so well known, dude. And
nobody cares.
And it's just old politicians sending young men to fight wars for themselves, and it's usually, unfortunately, in hindsight, we usually find out that it was really for a different reason than what we were told.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
but then there's also a lot of things that happen over there that the American public don't understand or have never seen.
So it's always nuanced, right? So, because there is that too, right?
When we were over in Iraq and Afghanistan, we would see like
evil shit
that we needed to be there for. We needed to help these people. Like, no doubt in my mind, there are people in those countries, that region of the world, that needed our help, that still need our help.
Yeah.
It's even like in people don't see that. They just like, oh, we're losing, and it sucks. Don't get me wrong. It sucks losing, Americans. But at the same time, like, we have a responsibility, being who we are, to help the world.
Well, sometimes the question is like, what do you say to the people who are like, well, do we? Like, are we really the world's police? Like, they don't want our help. Do we need our, like, all right, we tried. They clearly don't want it.
I see what you're saying.
They've been at war so long over there. What are we going to do?
So here's the way people need to look at it. All right, and so this is one of the problems I have with people stamping out history. We have to learn from history. All right. So Hitler in Germany. Right. We had World War I, World War II. Right. Why did we have 2 world wars with Germany? Because we let them do what they wanted. We sat back and was like, that has nothing to do with us. They need to police themselves. And then it got to a point where if we didn't step in, Germany was going to take over the fucking world.
Yeah.
So we had to step in.
We are a world economy.
Yes.
We're a world community.
We had to step in at that point. Like, there was no other option. We had to step in. So if we let the Middle East do whatever the hell they want, it's not going to just stay there. It will spread. They're going to take over more places. They're going to travel down, into Africa and then
it's that conqueror's mentality.
Yes,
man.
And then it's a problem because when it comes down to it, it's about money, it's about power, and it's about, they really think that we're evil fucking people. They think that the West is just evil. They fucking hate us.
Mm-hmm.
Even the people that are over there, not all of them, but some of the people that are over there being oppressed, they still hate us because that's what they've been taught their whole life. It's that we're evil.
It's a belief.
Yes. So if we don't step in and be like, yo, you need to fucking back up, it's just going to get worse and worse where it comes to a point where we have to do something. And then by that point, like I mean, we're the greatest army in the world. Bro, they are not fucking busters. They can fight.
Yes.
They can fucking fight. So
well,
if
they've
we
been
allow
fighting for
them,
thousands of years.
Yeah.
They
So
are a warrior culture.
If we allow them to get too big, what are we going to do?
Hard people over there,
Exactly.
dude.
Yes.
Hard people.
Hell yeah. So
the Persians took over
Yeah.
the world. The Ottoman Empire. Like, there's a lot of empires that
Yep.
were birthed out of that region of the world.
So we do have a responsibility to take care of the world. We do. If we want to live in this world and be peaceful, or as peaceful as we can be.
Well, I'd rather be the winner.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, but see, now there's a whole nother thing. Like, the way we went over there and went about it, the first, 3 months we were over there, I'm not going to get into specifics, but the first 3 months we were over there, nobody was messing with us. We went over there and did what we needed to do. And then the media showed up, and then some of the
we used to have
higher-ups,
conversations about this, dude. You start putting fucking, rules of engagement on people and tying people's fucking hands.
And there should be some rules. I agree, because we don't need to be over there just massacring anyone.
Right.
But if you're gonna shoot me, I'm gonna shoot back at you.
Right. Well, we can't send people over there to kill
To
people.
murder.
Yeah.
Yes,
and,
I agree.
And tell you, no, you can't.
Yeah, I agree. But sometimes things need to get dirty. They need to get nasty. War is not pretty.
It's not.
It's not pretty.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and that's when things start getting a little.
Yeah. Well, we're a little complacent here in the U.S. in that there has not been a war on this soil in quite some time, and
the problem right now is we're getting close to that because of the way our politicians are handling things. The military is not the same military it was 20 years ago.
Society is not the same.
Yeah, it's soft
in a lot of regards.
Safe spaces and
they're lessening standards.
Oh, the standards are
for warriors.
So
warriors.
I am a combatives instructor. It's one of my passions. When I was in the military, I taught it to thousands of soldiers, right? And I'm not the best combatives instructor in the world by any means, because I'm not gonna say I didn't believe in some of the things, but I thought there were better ways to do some things.
Yeah.
But so I used to help teach a course for units that were deploying. So they would have to come get evaluated. So they would get graded on whether or not they were fit for war.
Yeah.
So they'd come in and they'd do all the battle drills and stuff, and we go out there and teach it to them, and then they'd test on it and we'd evaluate them. Well, combatives was one of those things. And my combatives class was never easy. It wasn't a give me class. You came in and you worked your ass off, and then you learned things and you had to implement them. We did that for years, and now I'm retired. I'm no longer doing any of that. I had one of my buddies message me, and he's like, hey, First Sergeant can't tell you this, but he wanted me to tell you. They didn't do any combatives training. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? They didn't do any combatives training. They're getting ready to deploy. No, they just did a hour and a half video that they watched, or a 15-minute video that they watched. I'm like, well, are you fucking serious? Why? Well, the commander didn't want anybody to get hurt. So you didn't want them to possibly get hurt during training that could save their life downrange. You're fucking kidding, right?
You get them killed.
Yeah. That's the mentality.
That scary.
Blows me away.
Dude, I'm always dude, you gotta train people for the worst case scenario.
Yes. So when I went in OIF-1, we spent, we're out in Texas in level 5 and sweating our ass off. We had to do combatives in it, and we had to, do fucking movement drills and shit and all that because we needed to know. We do, casualty evacs where they had all the cool shit. People were laying there, blood hanging out. And,
you got to be able to have that exposure, to be put under that stress, to learn how to relax and calm down and operate in that environment,
or at least be effective.
Yeah.
While all that shit's going on around you, because when shit starts happening, there ain't no timeouts.
Dude, I'm always so conflicted because I feel that. So when it comes to our military and it comes to our troops, we want them to have the best resources possible.
Yes.
And I think that when it comes to the allocation of dollars and money, that like they need it's. I mean, you always see changes, right? Like with the current administration, there's cutbacks, so the military gets less money, and it always affects our soldiers directly on the front line, like what gear they can have and what training they're getting and different things. So you should never cut resources there directly on the front lines. Like they need money, they need resources, they need more of that. But this is where it always gets confusing and complicated when you look at the big picture of like when you start talking like the military industrial complex, and like as a country how much money we spend on like the military and war, like as an industry. Because what's happening is you say that, well, we need to spend less money on the military and on like that whole thing. It's like, yes, that is true as a whole, but in my mind, what we're really talking about is we need to address the wastage and where the government or certain politicians are using this cloak of the military and war to just steal money and to just waste money. It's like we need to eliminate that and have more transparency and make sure that the money that we do have, more of the money is getting to the right places.
So let me tell you about 100% agree. All right, so I think that our funds aren't allocated correctly.
Exactly.
So we had a course that we would teach in the National Guard when I spent time in the National Guard, to where we didn't have enough money to let soldiers go to airborne school or air assault school or Pathfinder or Sapper. We didn't have money for that. But we'd have a 3-week fucking course where all the fat bodies showed up. All right, so they were getting kicked out of the military. So to save them from being kicked out of the military, we would put them through this 3-week course where they learned how to eat right. They learned how to exercise, and they had to do PT tests, all this shit. They didn't have to pass anything. They didn't have to get a passing score on anything. They just had to make it through the 3 weeks. And they get a year extension to get back into shape. But here's the kicker. At the end of that year, they can go to the fucking course again and get another year extension.
Just rinse and repeat.
So you're paying 21 soldiers per course, paying them money to do this, and then paying all the instructors to teach it.
Yeah.
But we don't have money for specialty schools.
Right. So it's just a waste. We're just wasting money left and right.
Waste of fucking money.
And if you want to talk about probably like money laundering, for sure, they're high level people. Like,
they
where
get
did
trouble. They get caught.
And like, where did all this money just disappear to? But even outside of that, you'll see where it's like, oh, the IRS just said they just sent $100 million of payments out, and now it's just disappeared.
Yep. So
and where did that go? So you just see all this frivolous waste at that level, and it's like, man, it's like, yes, we shouldn't be wasting all that. We need to make sure the allocation is going there. So it's like, on surface value, the statements are conflicting, but when you really unpack it, it's like, man,
there's certain things we need to get rid of that we're spending way too much money on, and there's certain things that need more money.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Because there's some soldiers, like I went downrange when I went to Afghanistan. We didn't have the right gear. We didn't have shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I went to YF1, we had flak vests. We didn't have armor. Yeah.
What's the difference?
So a flak vest is from like Vietnam. You could stab through it with a knife.
Oh, fuck.
It ain't no fucking. It's not a plate.
No.
Yeah. No.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy.
Oh. Yeah, dude, you were exposed.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. We used to take armor, like iron and shit, from wherever we could find it and weld it to our trucks.
Really?
Yeah, so we'd have armor.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, it was like Mad Max shit. Dude, it was fucking cool.
That's why you're a wild son of a bitch.
It was one of the fucking coolest times in my life.
Yeah,
man.
I bet.
Such the shit that I saw.
Yeah.
My first deployment. Dude, I was in country, so we fucking drove into Iraq from Kuwait. I was in Iraq for 19 minutes the first time I got shot at.
Fuck, dude.
And I got shot at every day by something, mortar round or fucking grenade or something. The rest of the time I was there.
Fuck,
it was fucking awesome.
Dude, that's insane.
It was so cool, dude.
That's gnarly, dude.
And I look back at it, like now, I'm like, what the fuck? And then I volunteered 2 more times to go.
Yeah.
But, dude, time of my life, man.
Yeah.
And it's funny to say this, and people don't get it. I miss that shit. I miss it. You had life was simple. You went on mission, you fucking got in firefights, or you didn't, and then you ate and did whatever, and then you went back on mission. No fucking bullshit, no politics, no.
Yeah, you're not thinking too far down the line.
Nothing.
Everything
just
right in front
about
of you.
You're in the moment. You have to be in the moment.
Yeah.
It's fucking pretty badass.
And there's something to being in the moment.
Oh man,
which is not what you're chasing now, right?
Yeah.
Being in the moment with competition.
Yeah. Yes, that's why I'll never stop competing.
Yeah.
Never. Yeah, jiu-jitsu saved my life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was in a bad place for a long time, and then my mom died, and that fucked me up real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so jiu-jitsu, and my wife keeps me grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's an amazing woman. She spent 30 months downrange.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. She's got to be strong to deal with your ass, bro.
Oh, bro. She puts me in my place, man. Yeah, she's the boss. No fucking doubt about it.
I'm not mad at it, dude.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm happy.
Makes life simple.
Oh, bro, man. She's a firecracker. Yeah, she'll whoop my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're fucking intense, dude.
Yeah. She's intense. She's fucking intense. I call her the Thundercat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny, dude. That's so funny. Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, we've known each other for so long. Seeing you today, I remember whenever I first met you it was like peripherally. It was at the Cage Shamrock show. I think we were just fighting on a show.
Probably.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like we met like, hey, I'm Adam, hey, I'm Jason, but it was just like, all right, I see you. Just kind of exposed, and then I think I probably came across you a couple more times at different cage fighting shows, cage championship shows.
Yeah, I fought a lot for cage champs.
Yeah, so I just kind of see you there, and then eventually you were just like at the gym.
Yeah.
And dude, I mean that's been a decade ago.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy. Where'd the time go?
Dude, we're old guys in the space now, dude.
Fuck that shit.
In the space, bro. Oh, geez.
Nope.
No,
I'm a young
don't
pup
ever
still.
call you an old guy.
I'm a young pup, man.
Yeah, fuck, dude.
I feel like it.
Well, there's a whole lot more that you don't know than you do know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, as having been in the space for quite some time now, you know, and you're teaching and you're imparting your wisdom on people, it's like, man, you got a lot of experience and wisdom and knowledge, and you know, there's something to that, and like that's a good thing too.
Yeah.
You know,
it's crazy.
You're not a novice.
No, I'm not.
No, dude.
I wish I was, man. I wish I was a white belt again. Fuck, it'd be so much fun.
You gotta keep that mentality, right?
It'd be so much fun. No, I mean competition. Oh man, to know now, know then when I know now.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, that's always the thing,
It's so
right?
much more fun.
Hindsight 2020.
It's so much more fun. Yeah.
You're probably. Do you get nervous when you compete? Not
yeah.
Since you still get the nerves even with everything you've gone through.
It's more like I don't want to let people down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and now it's really bad when you own a gym. And so in a way, I understand why people that own gyms don't want to fight people that own gyms because they don't want to lose to someone else that owns a gym. But yeah, like now I feel like I want to do well for my athletes, like my guys. You know, so like I never make them do anything I won't do with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they're running, I'm running. You know, if we're doing burpees, I'm doing it with them.
At what point do you think you might ever step back?
I won't.
You're just gonna do it until you can't.
Yeah.
I love it. I fucking love it.
It's me, man.
Dude, well, we've been going for an hour and a half, dude.
No shit.
Yeah, bro.
It's awesome.
Tell the people how they can check you out.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything you want to address, fucking address the people to?
Man, just if you want to fucking get on a Combat Submission Invitational match, just hit up the Combat Submission Invitational page or hit me up on Facebook, and we'll get you a match.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see like how that evolves and grows.
It's gonna be crazy. We're looking at doing pay-per-views and shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This is just the beginning. Second match.
Yeah.
Second
show.
second show rather. Like this is just like the very beginning of something special.
The venue is doubled in size.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you're just on the path now.
Yeah.
This is exciting shit,
Yeah.
dude. I'm so glad we were able to finally fucking do this, dude.
Right?
We've been talking about this for so long.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Dude.
I'm happy for you, man. I am. It's awesome. I've seen this when you first started doing this shit. Fucking years ago. I was like, yeah.
Times pass. I just do the same. I just take the same mentality from fighting and just put it into other stuff.
You're always doing something, man. Always doing like the fucking what is that hard?
Oh, 75.
Yeah. You used to do the shit out of that. I'd see your fucking videos like every day.
Just challenges.
This guy, man, always.
Just,
I love it.
You just can't be complacent.
No, man, and it's so cool. It's all us older motherfuckers that are doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Always trying to get better. Always trying to make things better.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, MMA competition was just such a short period. There's life is long. There's still a whole lot more things to do.
I'm still gonna fight.
A lot more challenges. Yeah, but now you're just doing it in a different way.
Yeah. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, but didn't you say you're taking an MMA fight?
Yeah.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how I just completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Like you're still fighting.
Yeah, man. I'm still gonna fight.
God damn, you're a madman. You just love it.
It keeps me young.
You
I
just love
like the competition. I like the idea of combat, man.
Yeah.
I'm an instrument of war. I love it.
And we need those fucking people, dude.
Yeah, the Army doesn't think so anymore.
Fuck the Army.
Fuck them. Fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Exactly.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right, dude. I appreciate you,
Hell
brother.
yeah.
All right, everybody. Bye.